Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the news. Before we begin, a quick look at the headlines. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma assures Meghalaya Assembly of personal review to strengthen social audits and improve transparency and accountability in government schemes. PG Minister Marcus N. Marak defends rupees 850.59 crore new Shillong water supply scheme, says EPC model will ensure faster execution and single point accountability. Chief Minister Conrad Sangma defends existing land transaction procedures, urges VPP and KHADC to ensure traditional institutions and communities remain involved in land decisions. 3 arrested KSU leaders return to Shillong as Union's Central Executive Council prepares to decide on government's invitation for talks on 5-point demands. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails a decade-long success of UPI, says digital payments platform has transformed India's financial landscape and promoted inclusive growth. The news in detail, starting off with local news. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma on Tuesday assured the Meghalaya Assembly that he would personally review the implementation of Meghalaya Community Participation and Public Service Social Audit Act 2017. The assurance came after opposition members raised concerns over the effectiveness of the social audit mechanism. CNRD Minister Sostanus Sotun said 69,524 social audits were conducted last year, with 7,724 issues reported over 3 years, of which 724 have been resolved. The Chief Minister said a meeting will be convened to identify areas requiring course correction and strengthen transparency, accountability and community participation. He stressed that social audits should enable a real-time identification and resolution of shortcomings in government schemes.
The social auditing, it is done to every schemes, and the conduct of the social auditing, it continues, sir.
May I get a categorical assurance from the government that CM himself can have a review of this whole approach of implementation of the mandate of this act?
Yes, it was during the time when the Honorable Leader of Opposition was the Chief Minister. This particular act came into being in 2017. And yes, as mentioned, sir, this was a first time in the country that this kind of an act came up. So definitely it was a very, very impactful and a very meaningful step that was taken. And we are carrying forward that particular process. And as we have to do course correction in all the different schemes, we also have to do course correction within the auditing also, as mentioned by the Honorable LO. So there could be circumstances, instances where there could have been certain areas where the objective may not have been met as per the mandate of the Act and the rules. Hence, sir, definitely, I will review this personally. I will call a meeting of this particular scheme and this particular Act and review this and ensure that whatever has to be done to make sure that this Act has the impact, the desired outcome.
PH Minister Marcus N. Marak has defended the rupees 850.59 crore new Shillong water supply scheme Phase 2 Part A, saying it was tendered under the EPC mode for integrated execution and single point accountability. Replying to a 0-hour notice raised by Nongpoh MLA Ardent M. Basayomoit, Marak said the project was sanctioned on July 30th, 2026, with the tender invited the following day. The project includes pipelines, reservoirs, pumping stations, distribution networks, electrical systems, SCADA and source rejuvenation. He said a single contractor will handle design, construction, testing and commissioning, besides 3 years of operation and maintenance. Marak said the EPC model would help reduce delays, coordination issues and disputes while ensuring better cost and time control.
Tender was invited on EPC mode for the construction of new Shillong Water Supply Scheme Phase 2 Part A on 31st July 2026. 4. Justification for opting the EPC, that is Engineering, Procurement and Construction mode. EPC, Engineering, Procurement and Construction mode is preferred for large water supply projects as it places the responsibility for detailed engineering, procurement, construction, testing, commissioning, and performance demonstration on a single contractor. This is particularly suitable for the new Shillong Water Supply Scheme, which comprises several interconnected components such as intake works, water treatment plant, pumping stations, raw and clear water transmission mains, reservoirs, distribution networks, electrical systems, implementations, and SCADA execution through EPC mode will ensure integrated design, coordinated implementation, single point accountability, and delivery of a complete and operational water supply system.
Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma on Tuesday hit back at the opposition Voice of the People Party VPP over its demand for stronger community participation in land-related matters. Replying to a short-duration discussion moved by Nongkrem MLA Ardent Mela Basayamoit in the Assembly, Sangma said the government follows established procedures in all land transactions and does not bypass traditional institutions. He questioned the KAJDC's proposed land law amendments seeking to remove mandatory...
In Section 16, which says that in Section 16 of the Principal Act, the word, quote, after prior consultation with respective Dorbar Shnans, Dorbar Ride, and Dorbar Hima, unquote, appearing after the words Executive Committee shall be deleted. So this particular amendment is quite unfortunate. And I must say it goes completely against the principle that was just mentioned in this discussion that we are having today. And I quote again, community should be taken into consideration, sir. Whereas in the Khasi District Council, this particular act today is being amended to remove the Rangbashnongs, remove the Ride as well as the Hima from this entire procedure of participation, sir. So where is the fairness?
Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma has informed the Assembly today that stunting among children under 5 has declined from 46.5% to around 36% over the last 3 years. Replying to a question raised by Rajabala MLA Mizanur Rahman Qazi during question hour, the Chief Minister attributed the improvement to interventions including Poshan Abhiyan, Saksham Anganwadi and the 1000 Days Programme. Meghalaya has 6,188 Anganwadi centres with construction or renovation underway at 2,148 centres. He also said an online system is being used to track pregnant women and identify high-risk cases for additional support. He said Meghalaya has recorded a 55% decline in maternal mortality and assured the House that the government would continue strengthening maternal and child health interventions.
Status of implementation of schemes such as Poshan Abhiyan and Saksham Anganwadi in the state, particularly in reference to rural areas, and whether these schemes have been able to decrease the malnutrition rates in the state.
So the House will be happy to know that the figures as per the NFHS that came out recently, the percentage of stunted children in the last under 5 in the last 3 years, sir, has gone down by more than 10%, sir. So it was 46.5% and now it's at 36%. So definitely we are seeing a huge improvement, and this is, as I said, the NFHS data. So the impact of what we are doing today, the different schemes being implemented and implemented well, and being audited and being ensured that all monitoring systems takes place, there is a very, very positive response. But obviously, sir, we are not happy just with these numbers. We want this to be at zero, and therefore we have come out with a very, very special program and a scheme called the 1,000 Days Program, which monitors the child's health from conception to the point where child is, at 2 years old.
The Nongpoh Combined Water Supply Scheme is targeted for completion by December 2026, with 75% of the physical work completed. PHE Minister Marquis N. Marak, replying to a question raised by Nongpoh MLA Meral Bonsi during question hour in the Assembly today, informed that the project was delayed due to JAC obstruction and forest-related objections. He also said the centre has sanctioned Rs 336.62 crore under JJM 2.0 for Meghalaya for 2026-27. The minister said 785 critical water sources have been identified across the state, with measures underway to improve groundwater recharge. In Reboy, 3,336 water samples were tested during 2025-26, with none found contaminated.
I would like to know from the Honorable Minister in charge. I would like to get a clear assurance, the timeline for the completion of Nongpoh Combined Water Supply Scheme, as well as the physical progress in percentage, as well as the financial status on this project.
So this, in fact, an allocation for JJM 2.0 for the financial year 26-27, considering that 336.62 has been allocated and earmarked for Meghalaya by way of JJM funds, and comparing with other similar states, this allocation is significant and much more than similarly placed northeast on hilly states. Sir, however, it has to be understood that this is allocation and sanction of JJM funds, not released.
The 3 arrested KSU leaders were brought back to Shillong District Jail from prisons in Garo Hills on Tuesday morning. Following their return, the KSU Central Executive Council is set to meet this evening to decide on the state government's invitation for talks on the union's 5-point charter of demands. Former KSU General Secretary Donald V. Thaba, after meeting the leaders, said KSU President Raymond Karjana, General Secretary Ruben Najiar and Vice President Pinkmen Lang Sanmet were in good health and receiving medical attention. Thaba said the 3 leaders would brief the CEC on the latest developments. The leaders were arrested in connection with the August 19th violence during the KSU Black Flag bike rally in Shillong.
Ruben and Pinkmen were transferred from Garo Hills to Shillong either yesterday or today. So immediately we came and we've met them, we've talked to them. They are in good condition, they are in good health, they have received medication, and we have a thorough deliberation with them, and they have utmost faith on the current CEC members that they will take up the matter regarding the invitation of the CM to invite them for talks on those 5 issues. So that is all. Let the CEC have the meeting first, and then they will convey to all the media regarding the invitation of the government. They will have a meeting today, so let them decide, let them take a vote.
The Jaintia Students' Union has urged the West Jaintia Hills District Administration to defer the upcoming Grade 4 examination under the District Selection Committee, citing unresolved issues from the 2021 recruitment process. The union submitted a memorandum to Deputy Commissioner Abhinav Kumar Singh, seeking suspension of the latest recruitment notification and early declaration of the pending 2021 results. JSU also raised concerns over alleged inconsistencies in evaluation and shortlisting and sought greater transparency in marks, cutoffs and selection criteria. It urged authorities to follow Meghalaya High Court directions before proceeding with the fresh recruitment.
Lani ki nong chong chunong yo rilom jaintia. The kalima kali chawan we are gasay nyong I the JSU we are go on EP. The JSU ngi porchi por correct ni mentau pait ba. Correct ni mentau wobon walang. Ngi mento yung student candidates wobon gi benta. Ndre katun ga JSU I kajing to gani gi issue. Iulit gani issue tanga scam o pait ba. I candidates wobot inadin kajing to gani gi benta wa kmado. Kasain banjur ha gani kajing chemo DC wa kan pudep igini waro idalai lembiu pediang ini exam do penman gi kanang yo ga jing senia no pait ba em kam chau postpone ni chubet chipor gani wesain la kwa ko pha ga message ko clear si pait ba si candidate subaro wa mani wano percaya ga thungkam thungjam dari percaya ga system don ni.
A 7-day training program on scientific honey beekeeping began on Monday at Chikichakre Bee Village under Gambegre CNRD block in West Garo Hills. The program, titled Scientific Honey Beekeeping Integrated with Oilseed Mission, will continue till August 30th under the National Beekeeping and Honey Mission. More than 100 villagers attended the inaugural program, while 50 selected participants will undergo intensive practical training. The initiative is jointly organized by NIMSME and Nehutura campus in collaboration with MBMA. The program aims to promote scientific apiculture, sustainable livelihoods and improved oilseed productivity through pollination. A look at the regional stories. Assam Rifles has provided 100 floodlights to Konthaujam village in Imphal to improve nighttime safety and visibility. The lights will be installed along village roads, community spaces and entry and exit points. Around 125 villagers and youth club members participated in the program, which also featured a traditional cultural performance. Villagers welcomed the initiative, saying the floodlights would help illuminate dark areas and improve safety after sunset. The initiative reaffirmed the Assam Rifles' commitment to community welfare and strengthening ties with local residents.
हम लोग के डेवलपमेंट का जगह है उसका अंधेरा हुआ है मतलब हम लोग का जितना यहाँ में जो है लाइट नहीं था वो लाइट इसका जगह में करेगा और उसका गेट में करेगा इसके बाद हम लोग कम्युनिटी हॉल में वो करेगा जितना हम लोग चर्च में भी जो अंधेरा हुआ है ग्राउंड में वो इसमें हम लोग ये लगा देगा इसका कहेंगे मैं मतलब असम राइफल ने जो जितना मदद किया है हम लोग को क्या बोलेगा हम लोग को बहुत अच्छा लगा है इसके सफर में हम लोग इतना भी किया नहीं है मतलब शो जो दिया है इससे बहुत हमको अच्छा लगा है आगे भी हम लोग को मुलाकात करते रहेगा काम करते रहेगा हम लोग साथ करेगा इसको लिए हम लोग अच्छा लगा.
Moving on to the national stories. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hailed the decade-long success of the Unified Payments Interface, UPI, calling it a major turning point in India's digital payments journey. In a social media post, Modi highlighted the scale and reach of UPI, saying it is an achievement every Indian can be proud of. He also invited citizens to share their experiences of using UPI. India's digital public infrastructure, powered by UPI and India Stack, has gained global recognition for transforming digital payments and promoting inclusive economic growth.
We launched WhatsApp payments in India. That was possible because of the UPI system that has been built in India, a unified payments interface. It makes it easy for anyone to instantly accept payments across different apps. And India
have UPI. India has leapfrog ahead of many countries, and what they do is provide the distribution rails where you can...
The digital public infrastructure from UPI, the account aggregator, Aadhaar.
Broke out in Patna today as student organizations staged protests over recruitment-related demands. Tension escalated at Dak Bungalow crossing after protesters breached police barricades while attempting to march towards Lok Bhavan. Police used mile force and water cannons to disperse the protesters, with several students detained and taken to Kotwali police station. Similar clashes were reported near JP Golambur, while heavy security was deployed across the city. The protest is being led by student leader Aman Kumar and has the support of more than 15 student organizations, along with teachers and Bihar leader of opposition Tejaswi Yadav. News around the world. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has warned that attacks and maritime disruptions in the Middle East and around Ukraine are choking global trade, raising prices and worsening hunger among vulnerable populations. Prices have risen 33% and global container rates are 84% higher than a year ago. Guterres called for an immediate end to attacks on commercial shipping and civilian infrastructure and proposed a UN-supported mechanism to monitor ships carrying fertilizers and related raw materials.
They're essential commodities. Today, conflicts in different regions are converging in their impact on the world's most vulnerable people. In the Middle East, ongoing attacks and the disruption of maritime traffic in the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea around Bab el-Mandab are constraining the movement of energy, fertilizers, and other essential commodities. In the conflict following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, attacks are threatening shipping routes vital for the export of oil, grain, and other agricultural products. These crises are choking arteries of global trade and squeezing the global food system, especially deepening hunger, weaker harvests, and greater suffering, especially for the world's most vulnerable people.
Lastly, news around sports. Tura Government College will host the Khelo India Dialogue, Khel Ki Baat PM Ke Saath on August 27th as part of National Sports Day 2026. Organized by My Bharat under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, the program will feature a virtual address by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, followed by interactions with sportspersons and public representatives. NSS Program Officer of Tura Government College, Firdosh A. Momin, said the initiative will focus on strengthening the sports ecosystem, nurturing talent for the Olympics, youth leadership, and promoting sports at the grassroots level. He urged young people to participate actively, share their ideas, and contribute to building a stronger sporting culture in India.
Khelo India promotes inclusive through sports, including opportunities for women and persons with disabilities. This aims to create a strong sporting culture, develop talented athletes, and provide a pathway from grassroots sports to national and international excellence. So this year, the program will be simultaneously in selected colleges across districts of country. Participants will witness a virtual address by the Honorable Prime Minister, followed by the local program featuring interaction with the sportsperson and local public representatives like MPs and MLAs. A key part of the program in the Yuva Sambhav, where young people will have an opportunity to share their ideas and experience on important themes such as strengthening the sports ecosystem, nurturing talent for the 2036 Olympics, building youth leadership and participants, and empowering young people from Viksit Bharat. Participants can also submit their suggestion digitally through My Bharat suggestion box, which is available in the My Bharat portal. This program provides a platform for youth to learn for inspiring sporting journeys, share their own contribution to discussions on how sports can build leadership, discipline, resilience, and stronger future for India.
Here's the weather report for the day. In Tura, the minimum temperature stands at 24 degrees Celsius with maximum temperature at 30 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 83% and the rainfall recorded was 1.7 millimeters. Moving on to Shillong, the minimum temperature stands at 18 degrees Celsius with maximum temperature at 25 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 82% and the rainfall recorded was 4.3 millimeters. Lastly, in Jowai, the minimum temperature stands at 19 degrees Celsius with maximum temperature at 24 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 86% and the rainfall recorded was 2.1 millimeters. And the forecast in Tura, Shillong and Jowai says moderate rain is likely to occur at many places. Before we wind up, a recap of the headlines. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma assures Meghalaya Assembly of personal review to strengthen social audits and improve transparency and accountability in government schemes. PHE Minister Marquis N. Marak defends rupees 850.59 crore new Shillong water supply scheme, says EPC model will ensure faster execution and single point accountability. Chief Minister Conrad Sangma defends existing land transaction procedures, urges BPP and KHEDC to ensure traditional institutions and communities remain involved in land decisions. 3 arrested KSU leader returned to Shillong as Union's Central Executive Council prepares to decide on government's invitation for talks on 5-point demands. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails decade-long success of UPI, says digital payments platform has transformed India's financial landscape and promoted inclusive growth. That's all we have for you today, dear viewers. Join us tomorrow for more updates. Until then, goodbye.